Oh my goodness, what a great test victory. Unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. England, embarrassed. West Indies, triumphant. Yes, the second test in Antigua. It's all over. The series is done with one to play, and it's not what everyone expected. And I did say, I told you, look, we don't lose test series against England at home. It really happens. It's happened once since the Wisden Trophy was started in 1965. That happened in 2004. 2009, Jerome Taylor ran through them. 2015, we pulled out a 1-1 draw late in the series. And 2019, this is going to go down in history. I mean, we haven't even beaten England in back-to-back tests since 1994. To do it in the manner that we did, first in Barbados and then in Antigua, it's going to go down in history. Legends! This is a legendary moment for West Indies cricket. I'm going to hold off before I start saying we're back, because we've still got a long way to go. We just came back from a tour of Bangladesh where we were turned over. But I've seen glimmers of promise in the last few years with this young team. You know, even simple victories, a one test in a series against Pakistan, against England at Headingley famously. And of course now these two chastening defeats to England at the hands of West Indies. So there is promise, there is a hope that there is more to come from this young team. And I have to big up this team, like from top to bottom. I know it's not the end of the series yet, and I'll probably go through do a player rating of the series after the third test. But starting from the top, I need to get this out. Craig Brathwaite and the new boy, John Campbell at the top, they batted superbly. Just to dent the new ball, put some miles in the legs of the England bowlers, Brathwaite scoring 49 of 156 balls. John Campbell 47 of 118 balls. That's tiring, especially when you consider we ran through that lineup like nothing. The bowlers must be absolutely pissed. That's the England bowlers, because they're thinking, we put in all this hard work to try and get out these batsmen, and then the batsmen on our side, as in England, they come out and get rolled over. But the difference is the quality of our bowlers, especially on these pitches, is much better, much more suited. We actually got pace and power and height that England don't have to extract what they need to out of these pitches. Stuart Broad, yes, he's very good. Ben Stokes, he's effective as well. But Anderson and Curran, he ain't doing much. Moeen Ali, it's not a raging turner. So he's got good control, he can pick up the odd wicket, but he ain't really troubling the batsman. This England side just ain't good enough to win the West Indies. It's as simple as that, nothing more to it. The excuses will come out, and they have come out. But they've been lessened because of the gap, the wide gap of victory. If it was close games and people could say, things like the toss, the pitch, the preparation, the facilities, but this kind of victory, 381 in the first test, 10 wicket thumping in the second test, there's no excuses. There's none. You're just not good enough. But going back to the West Indies, Darren Bravo, I mentioned him, I eulogized him at the beginning of the series. I did my preview and I said I'm happy to have him back, and we just need to leave him there, let him play his way back into form. And boy, did he do that. What an innings. 50 of 216 deliveries. On that pitch, that's basically a century. a match-winning innings he played. Because not only, I know it's only 50 runs, you say, but it's a low-scoring game, so 50 runs is a lot. But not only did he score the 50 runs, he batted time. He put miles in the bowler's legs, and he made it so that not only was he batting through the innings and allowing us to extend our lead as much as possible, but the longer he stayed out there, the later England will get to bat, meaning that the pitch will go through more wear and tear, so it'll be even harder to bat. If they got rolled over inside a day or less, then England would have been batting on a day 2 pitch, and they may have extended a lead that would have been very difficult to chase down on day 4 or day 5. But he batted time. It was a true test match innings. And it was really against his nature, because he's a flamboyant batsman. He likes to play his shots, but he knows he's not in the greatest form. I said this is what, his first class game in the last 2 years. He has to play his way back into form, and boy did he do it. And he did it in a test match, and that's against England. England are 3rd ranked in the world for a reason. They've won 8 out of their last 9 test matches, being India at home, being Sri Lanka away. But we have turned them over, and all credit to the boys. As I said, I'm not going to go through every single player. I'll do that at the end. But Jason Holder, captain, fantastic. Some of the reviews that he did in that second innings alone was brilliant, because we know Azari Joseph, his mother passed away on the morning of the final day, the 3rd day as it turned out to be. And he was able to come out to bat, and he was able to bowl, and he bowled a fiery spell just before tea. But there must have been so much on his mind that he bowled delivery to Joe Root, and it took the inside part of his glove onto his thigh, looped up behind the wicket, caught behind. But Azari Joseph didn't realise, didn't appeal, didn't even expect or think that they should go for a review. But Holder had his wits about him, and he went for the review, and it was a big wicket that he got, and a wicket that Azari Joseph deserved. Should have got another one. Well, he got 2, but he should have got a 3rd when Stokes was dropped in the slips by Campbell. He was on fire at that time, so that was disappointing. But that was really the only blemish from this West Indies side, because with the bat, with the ball, and in the field for this match, and even the previous, we have been fantastic. Starting on day 1, where Joe Root, I believe it was, he edged the ball. Yeah, it was Joe Root. He edged the ball from Joseph into 3rd slip. I think it was John Campbell. Parried it in the air, and Shea Hope ran around from gully, ran behind the 3rd slip to take a diving catch. And that really kind of set the tone to say, yes, West Indies, we are here. We're here to win. We're not here to play games. And we didn't play no games. Bowled out England for 187 in the first innings. Went about setting a good first innings score, a good first innings lead of 306, a lead of 119. And then England went back into bat. And we didn't start off brilliantly. Just before lunch and just after lunch, Roach and Gabriel wasn't at the races completely. But then Holder brought himself on first ball, started taking wickets. Between him and Joseph, I think they put together about a 14 over spell where England just could not touch them. 4 wickets down in no time, just before the tea interval. And after that, it was just a wrap. Wickets just kept tumbling after tea. Roach found his line, found his length, and was just running through the England lineup. Stokes dragged on. Moeen Ali's stumps were splattered. It was brilliant. It was brilliant stuff. Like, I wasn't alive in the glory days, but I've seen footage and I've read and I've heard, and Fire at Babylon and the Blackwash and all of that. And this was, you could say, a throwback. And you ask anyone from that era, they'll tell you it's a throwback to that era. 4 fast bowlers running in. England struggling. can't deal with it, can't handle the fire. And that's what it was about, could not handle the fire. But this team is so young and so determined, and there's so much promise, so much left to come. I'm excited for the future of West Indies cricket right now. And I have to say, it's not often I can feel like this. It's been years where you see, one good test match here, and you might even eke a series win if you draw out the rest of the games like we did in 2009. And then it's back to the drawing board after a couple series, or you get battered left, right, and centre. But this just seems different. 2 back-to-back consecutive performances of this level. I'm excited. As I said, I ain't saying we're back, but I'm excited. The key is just to keep this team together. We don't need to bring. Some people suggested bringing back some of the old guard, the Gales, and as much as respect I have for them, and I love them, how much they've done for West Indies cricket in trying circumstances when you're dealing with the politics of West Indies, which in and of itself is probably a debate. But we don't need to bring them back. They've done their bidding, they've done their time. Possibly bring them back for a T20 World Cup, possibly even the ODI, change up the team a bit. But as far as the test team goes, this is the team I want to see. Now, going into the third test in St. Lucia, I want a black horse. I want to win it 3-0. It's not going to be easy though, because England are not going to want to go back packing, go back home. The next test series is actually against Australia. In between that, it's just a lot of one-day games. We've got 5-match one-day series after this test series, 3 2020s. Then of course we've got the Cricket World Cup back in England, and then go into the Ashes. So the next test series, they don't want to go on the back of a 3-0 white. So they're going to come out fighting. There may be some changes on their side as well. We'll see. As far as West Indies goes, as Azari Joseph, his mother passed away on the morning of the third day of the second test. So, prayers for him and his family at this time. I don't know if he's going to be there for the third test. The series is won, regained the Wisdom Trophy for the first time in 10 years. Have that for a 10-year challenge, innit? So I wouldn't be surprised if he was allowed to miss that third test, and he deserves it. If that is the case, then I expect O'Shane Thomas to come in as a young 21-year-old fast bowler, and I'm excited to see him. But also, unfortunately, Jason Holder has actually been banned for 1 test match for slow over rate. So we're going to have to find a replacement for him. And honestly, I have no idea who we're going to bring in. We did have a opener who was in the squad. Not sorry, not opener, another batsman who was in the squad. He would be a debutant if he was to come in. But me personally, I think it needs to be a bowler we bring in. We got Gabriel Roach, and obviously it'll be O'Shane Thomas. 3 bowlers and chase isn't enough. I think someone like Cummins possibly would come back in to replace Holder. He can't bat like Holder, but I think we definitely want to go with 4 fast bowlers. And it's unfortunate he's been banned, because it would be great to see him, take the troops home, end the series. But I'm sure behind the scenes he's going to be doing his job to rally the troops and rally the islands behind the West Indies, as David Rudder tells us. But it's strange, because the first match ended in 4 days. The second match ended in 3 days. So who was really cheated out of the cricket? The time. Okay, each day may not have lasted as seen as many overs as possible. 90 overs in a day. I didn't do all the maths. I know they had to extend the day to half an hour for pretty much most of the days to get the overs in. But the match was done in 3 days. So it's not like time was lost out of the game. It was done early. So what are you really banning him for? I know over it is an issue in cricket. It does need to be stamped out. But when a match is done in 3 or 4 days, I mean, has anyone actually lost out? 2 innings were played and a result. Like, what has he actually done wrong in that sense? But the rules are what they are. So he's going to miss that game, and we'll see who comes in to replace him. And I just hope that the spirit remains in the team into this last test. The crowds in Antigua were bigger than the crowds in Barbados, and I hope that the crowds in St. Lucia will be even bigger to celebrate the boys winning the Wisden Trophy. Let's see if we can make it 3-0. Let's see if we can send England home with a black